Okay, I think it's time. Let's talk about Hytale. So in case you don't know, Hytale is the new voxel-based survival game from the people behind Hypixel, which is one of Minecraft's largest multiplayer servers. But from what I've seen online, a lot of people are incredibly hyped about Hytale's prospective release. Some people are even saying that Hytale is going to overtake or even kill Minecraft, or at the very least, get Mojang to stop being lazy. Their words, not mine. So I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring and cast my opinions out on the internet for people to get mad at me for, as usual. So, what do I think? Hytale originally started development around a decade ago, with the first ever trailer, and I think the only trailer, coming out 7 years ago. And in all this time in development, there has been barely any gameplay released, and never anything in a publicly playable state. Even for reviewers, nobody outside the Hytale dev team has ever played this game. For all intents and purposes, it has become one of these vaporware titles, like Beyond Good and Evil 2 or the Star Wars KOTOR remake, Development Hell, or as the Hytale devs call it, Tuesday. In all honesty, I was utterly convinced that Hytale would be a project that simply never sees the light of day. And it initially seemed that I was proven right all the way back in June when Riot Games officially announced that Hytale was now cancelled. After a decade. I remember thinking at the time, oh great, another big game developer eating crap as they fail to manifest the simplest of project flows. Imagine spending millions of dollars and years of development with nothing to show for it, all while dedicated indie developers continue to sell millions and millions of copies while pushing innovation and solid gameplay. I'd call it under-delivering, but they never even delivered in the first place. This announcement of cancellation was hardly surprising to me. All this being said, for a game that still does not exist, Hytale has somehow developed quite a dedicated fan base. I've seen people cosplay the characters from that one trailer, drawn fan art. There's even a subreddit with 36,000 weekly visitors just talking about info related to the game. So its cancellation was actually very shocking and upsetting to a lot of people. Gerg, you're actually just a sociopath who sees a work of what real people have been committed to for 7 years. Actually, it's 10. And just I get it. You have no ambition. You're just a shorts YouTuber. Who cares? Just go back to the sewers, you genuine slime ball. Listen here, idiot. I'm excited for GTA 6 far more than your average person, but considering the game has been in development for over a decade and several key members of Rockstar have left the company, if someone came up to me and said they're skeptical that GTA 6 might actually turn out bad, they aren't a sociopath. Same goes for Hytale, you hype-driven consumerist teenager. But that takes us to the recent developments, because even though Hytale has been allegedly coming out for a decade, for once, it might actually be true. Because obviously, a whole bunch of shenanigans have happened behind the scenes, and the project has now become uncancelled and instead purchased back from Riot Games by the original owners, and is now in obviously much more active indie development again. Huzzah! And to be fair, I think it goes to show that the lead devs behind Hytale must be pretty damn committed to the project to even do this in the first place. They must have full confidence that Hytale is going to be of excellent quality, or at the very least, good for microtransactions. And look, I have to say that I'm a lover of indie games far more than your big studio crap. Something like the video game Peak has 10 times the soul of any Minecraft Bedrock add-on crap. Believe me. So seeing that Hytale is now an independent studio release again has actually got me really interested in the game. You see, while I'm positive about the direction of Minecraft currently, I still have a few niggling issues with it that I have tried but failed to properly put into words several times. I think my biggest issue is I simply miss when Mojang was an indie studio. It felt so much more pointed and directed. Current day Minecraft is systematically inseparable from Bedrock Edition and trying to sell you Minecoins. every update has to work on a Windows phone, even if you're running it on Java. There's a lot of soulless crap, to be honest, and I don't like it. So I look at Hytale, and I see potential again. It could be a second Minecraft, but once again under an indie lens. I mean, look, there's something undeniably charming about seeing the lead developer tweet about the stuff they're working on, rather than getting the info from some highly produced live event. So despite the fact this video started kind of snarky and negative, I'm actually very interested in Hytale. The fact that they've managed to worm their way out of Riot Games and actually seem to be making progress for the first time definitely has raised eyebrows, me included. Now, all of this being said, from all the gameplay and stuff they have now released like within the past 2 weeks, I actually have some concerns. Some I'd like to put out there, see if it gets addressed. Concern number 1. The lack of direct skin customization is a definite negative. You don't get granular control over each pixel like you do with Minecraft, which allows for like tons of creativity. Instead, it seems to be more focused around cosmetics, which, consider, this game is by the people behind Hypixel, the biggest normalizer of microtransactions in Minecraft servers. The lack of skin customization may just be a backdoor way of selling crappy cosmetics later on. Concern number 2. While I understand that Hytale is its own thing and should be viewed independently, considering it's placing itself as a Minecraft competitor, I have to make comparisons. You see, I'm someone who primarily plays creative mode, and I've never been a fan of forcing the medieval build style. I love building in Art Deco and more modern styles, and in Minecraft, that's totally possible. But looking at the certain blocks and the higher level of detail and the textures in Hytale, I get concerned that I may feel a bit pigeonholed into only building fantasy and medieval, and it doesn't have the same sort of mushy flexibility that things in Minecraft have. Concern number 3. I worry that Hytale will become too grindy or progression line following. You see, part of Minecraft's beauty to me is getting the good gear is kind of the boring part. For me, manifesting my imagination onto the landscape as I see fit, that's the real game of Minecraft. What I worry about is Hytale may fall into the same trap as other Minecraft games like Vintage Story, where you're always stuck as a nature hobo trying to survive, and you never really get an opportunity to thrive. Concern number 4. I would love to see if Hytale offers some sort of mechanical aspect to its building, sort of like automation or machinery. Now, obviously I'm biased here, but goddamn, I love Minecraft because the capacity of the cool stuff you can do with redstone, it's awesome. It would be nice if Hytale had something similar. Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be a carbon copy of redstone, I get that, but some sort of more mechanical element would be really interesting. So if you want to take my advice on it as a consumer, here's what I'd say. Do not pre-order Hytale. No matter how hyped you are or good of a game it looks, never pre-order any game. This is just life advice. But I also no longer think that Hytale is easily written off as vaporware either. It's definitely worth paying attention to. And it's definitely something I'm very excited to play when and if it actually releases. Time will tell its fate.